about kind of the Yankees back when they, blew the 3-1 or came back, the Red Sox came back, was the Diamondbacks knocking off the Yankees, because that was, I remember watching that in college, and I think it was my first year of college in our dorm, and like that was so, it was the freaking Yankees off of a three-peat, like that was so unheard of. And, Gonzalez had the bloop single over Jeter's head, and there it was. So that one was a big one, I think, for me, just growing up, like non-Pirates one. But Pirate-wise, definitely the wild card game.
Yeah. All right, next question. Are the Pirates looking at Freddie Galvis, 28, 29-year-old shortstop, not overly expensive, second base shortstop option with comparable numbers to Jordy? They have to be kicking the tires, right? And I'll make this real easy. I mean, I put it here, it's been rumored. We kind of talked about it. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not thrilled on Galvis, but I'm not really thrilled on any shortstop that's out there per se. So, but I do think we have to get someone better than Gonzalez. Yeah. Is that fair enough?
Oh, yeah.
We have to get somebody.
I said it when that trade happened. I liked the trade for the pickup and the flexibility, but I was worried that was going to be the end game at shortstop.
Right.
Now, Galvis, does he have a little more pop than Jordy? Yes. Does it's a good glove. He's durable. He's played every game the past 2 years. So, I think I'm higher on Galvis than you are. You're more leaning towards Iglesias.
Absolutely.
But I think I'd rather have Galvis. But when you see numbers similar to Jordy, that's not a good endorsement.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hating on Jordy all this time, and it's like, we're going to place him with another Jordy, and it's like, oh, great.
Right, so...
how do we endorse this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, next, Josh Brown asks, assuming Gonzalez starts at shortstop, which I just mentioned I don't want, how many wins do you predict for the 2019 Pirates? And then on top of that, he asked another question. We'll get to that in a minute. Pretty much, I mean, Gonzalez at this point can't be any worse than Jordy, right? So if you're going off of how many wins, I think you'd be pretty much the same. Like average, I don't know, Chisenhall and Lyles are moving the needle anywhere, but I think you're pretty much around 500 again.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of looked at it this way. I think it's, well, maybe not safe, but in our eyes, we can see some improvement with Archer, right? You probably see him doing better this year off of reasons we've already disclosed, and we'll get even more to when the season comes. You can see Tyone taking that next step, right? Especially after he started
there's variance.
Using that another
there's
pitch.
Variance either way.
So you can see them ascending upwards, right? If Gung comes back and plays good, you can see some better offense in that sense. But you can also see some regression, maybe out of Cervelli if he's still on the club. We've lost Polanco. I mean, say what you say, but we've lost Polanco for a bit, and he had a solid season last year. Maybe Dickerson doesn't have, the same defensive success. Maybe he declines a bit in that aspect. But right, I mean, you had Jordy and J-Hay. I think Adam Frazier can add some value there. And even if it's Gonzalez, you're probably saying about what Jordy is. I mean, if I were to make my official prediction based on what this club is today, I'd probably say 83 wins.
That's what I mean, like basically about the same.
So right, I mean, it's basically about the same as it was last year. Maybe just a bit of an improvement. So right, 83 wins because they'll get to play one full 162 this year. So then I'll say his next question. So how does the rotation, as presently constituted, stack up with the rest of the NL Central? So
against the rest of the NL Central, so I mean, obviously it's ahead of the Reds. I'd say it's ahead of the Brewers. The Brewers have, I don't know how the Brewers did what they did last year, but obviously the hitting was there with Yelich, but the pitching wise, they got creative in the playoffs. But I think our rotation's definitely a lot better than the Brewers. So you're ahead of those two, and then you got the Cubs and Cardinals. Now the Cardinals, Wainwright's like 97. I think we have a better rotation than the Cardinals. Walker's been a mess. Wainwright is old. They traded Weaver for Goldschmidt.
They got Martinez still. But he hasn't he hasn't been that player that they've expected him either. Now, he's definitely talented.
So I think it's the Cubs and Pirates. And when you start, the Cubs are certainly paying a lot for him. I think a big question mark for the Cubs is Yu Darvish. What's he going to be like? Because before he got injured last year, he was bad. Quintana, your boy, has kind of just fizzled. I mean,
we're not boys anymore.
No, you're not boys with them anymore. He's just kind of like spinning his tires.
He stopped calling, so I've moved on.
He hasn't,
I moved on to Juan Soto now.
And so I don't. I think it's us and the Cubs. I think we're right there. Like that's the top two, and I think we can have a better rotation. Like you said, it's a lot of it's. I can't say right now. Like we have a better rotation than the Cubs. It's going to come down to guys like Archer and Tyon. Like what are they going to take that step forward? Is Archer going to be the guy we hope we traded for?
Well, I'll do this. I won't take the cop-out answer. I'll say it right now. I think the Pirates have the best rotation in the NL Central.
There you go.
And that's even with Lyles in there. I think they have the best rotation. But here's the thing. The Cubs certainly have the highest ceiling. Like if their guys click, that can be a dominant rotation. The problem is they just seem to not click. I mean, Lester just isn't looking good anymore. Quintana, since he's been traded, has not fared well. I mean, how many times have we compared him to Nova, in their numbers?
Yeah. Yep.
Hamels, who knows what he's going to bring?
Right, at $20 million.
And right, like you said about Darvish. I mean, if he's healthy, he can be good, but his problem is staying healthy. And there's a lot of question marks in that rotation, which is a lot of money. But I will say, like the NL Central, I do think the Pirates have the best rotation. I think they have the best bullpen as well. I mean, that is their strength, is that pitching. But they don't have the highest ceiling. That's the case.
And Hamels going to be 35. Lester's going to be 35. Quintana's 30. They on paper the Cubs rotation looks great, but when you look at the numbers, and they were like average last year. I mean, when you combine them all together with Tyler Chatwood, but
right.
I mean, Hamels was great in the 12 starts down the stretch, but is he going to do that again?
Yeah,
he didn't in the first.
Now with me saying that this is the best rotation in NL Central, with what we retweeted out there in that article that was posted about the 5 teams that could make a surprises. Like, don't put me on record. I'm not saying with them like this is the best top 3 in baseball either. Like, I laughed at that.
Right.
So even though I'm saying this is the best rotation in NL Central, don't put me in the same sense as saying that this is the best rotation in baseball, the best top 3, because that's laughable. So,
right.
All right. I just want to make that little, exclamation mark.
Had to add on. All right. Next question. I was going to say Laura, but it's actually Lore with a bunch of R's after and then a 2-3. She asks if the Pirates were to go out and sign a shortstop with Tulo not being an option, which he isn't now, and Machado being a dream, who do you favor as the most realistic and best option for the team? Galvis, Ahmed. Now, we just talked about this.
Iglesias.
No, Nick Ahmed would have to be a trade, right? He's not a free agent.
Yes, he will.
But yeah, I think it's pretty much Galvis and Iglesias at this point. And like we just mentioned, you're on the Iglesias train, and I'd say more so Galvis. I mean, I don't think we need Galvis, but I think I'd take him over Iglesias. So
you're wrong.
Well,
so next question.
All right.
Do you think the Pirates are close to a playoff team if Jordan Lyles is our solution for our 5th pitcher, and we're giving Newman 400 at-bats and Gonzalez 550 plus by Neil Lucas? I think we kind of answer that. I mean, right now,
Mike
I
Upton
envision this team as
easy. No.
Right. I mean, I said it's about an 83 team. He said, it's about the same as last year. Did they make playoffs last year? No. I mean, they're hovering around 500 still. So, no, I do not think that they're a playoff team, which is why they got to trade Cervelli and go get Grandal.
Yeah, I mean,
and get Crick.
Now, could I see them making the playoffs with Lyles in like the rotation for a half season with Keller coming up? Probably, but when you start throwing Newman for 400 at bats, no, I'm not feeling it. Like there needs
Newman was never in the equation for you or I.
Right.
So
there needs to be another option there. So no.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to go to the next question unless you had something to add.
So was I.
Oh.
I forgot it was your turn.
Okay. All right. Levi asks, when a player makes a mistake on the field, fumble, penalty that really hurts, base running error, etc., do the other players say something to the offender, like, what the hell were you thinking, etc., either in the locker room or on the field? Now,
absolutely.
I think you would be more like, and I'm sure it depends on what, kind of the error is. But I would seem to think like you more have like your teammates being a little more uplifting, like, yeah, you'll get it next time. Like, don't worry about it, whatever.
No. See, so there's accountability on the field. Court, field, rink,
Right.
whatever. Absolutely you are, but you're, you know what? As we open the show, tonight's a great example. Tonight is a great example. When that kicker, Parkey, ex-Dolphin, you're welcome. You're welcome, Chicago. You're welcome, Curtis Nugent. When they missed that field goal, I'm sure you better believe he heard some, there's some pissed off. But when you're in that locker room, hold your head up. It'll be all right. So,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You make up. Do you think Polanco, after missing that ball in Chicago, that everyone at that moment was like, "Oh, it's okay"? No, they were probably pissed off.
Well,
what were you doing?
but I'm saying,
Come on,
but I'm saying, are they saying something to him on the field? It's not like the pitcher
Yes.
walked out to
Yes.
Polanco and was like, "You jackass,"
I'm sure whoever's pitching that day, you could probably read through the glove, and there were some words.
Now, right, but there is, but I also don't think they're saying it to their face, and that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now,
Yeah.
Parkey also blew the playoff game. That's a little high of a situation there than somebody just making a base running error on June 3rd, But I think for the most part, I don't know, and I think it depends on the sport too. Like I feel like baseball, unless it's a high,
I think it also depends on the relationship, the type of leadership,
Right.
But
right,
in some way or another, you're probably being spoken to,
right,
in whatever form that leadership way comes in. But then afterwards, you're like you said, you're uplifting. Pick your head up.
Then I think
Move on.
Right.
Short-term memory.
And then I also like if you have like a Stephen Brault, Trevor Williams relationship, I could see them weeks later, him, ribbing the other one about it.
Oh, well,
so
of course.
you see something like that. But that's like you said, it depends on the relationship and stuff. But yeah, absolutely. I'm saying the players probably, they obviously get ticked and say stuff, like you said, into the glove. But I don't think they're like, it's not like the pitcher's running out to Polanco after that and being like, kicking him in the shin.
Where's that GIF of Durant, right? I don't watch NBA much anymore,
Yeah.
but I think it's Draymond, right?
Yeah.
He's like pointing at him and like in his face.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
you're getting a lot
yeah.
of that.
He's like talking to him. Yeah, he's like real
Right.
fast. Like we're gonna. Yeah. That GIF goes around a lot. It's a good one.
Yeah, GIF, but it's okay. You can be wrong again.
It's GIF. It's GIF.
All right, last question. So, what's your opinion of the pecking order of the top of the rotation? Is Jammo or Archer the ace? Is Trevor Williams, when at his very best, better than either of them?
So, I don't. Yeah, look, we talked about the order of the rotation. Like, I'm guessing that's kind of where he's going on here. Like, who's your opening day starter?
Oh, yeah, by Marcus Mariota blows.
Yeah, the real shoe 95. I like that. It was like Marcus. Oh, Mariota blows. Okay.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with
it's a
that.
normal name.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't get into this guy's a 3 and he's a 4 and he's got to be ahead of the 3. I don't like that's not. Now I get it. Opening day starter is more of a title, but it's a big deal. Like I get it. Home opener is a big deal. But like 1 through 5, I could give a crap. Like just get them out there. Obviously, you're gonna pitch your top guys in the top of the rotation. But I think at this point, it's Tyone as far as your ace, as far as he's going to be the opening day starter or the home opener or whatever. He's been here longer. He's been with the Pirates his whole career.
Let me reword this then, because I know where most people go with this, and I know what you're saying. We've talked about it, and I kind of agree with this, right? So let's make it this way. If you're heading into a playoffs, right, it's a 5-game series. Who's the first guy you're pitching? Who's the second guy you're pitching? Who's the third guy you're pitching?
Going off of what I know right now from seeing
Yes.
the past, I guess the past how many years, it's Tyone. Tyone
Okay.
is just he's coming into his own. He's been improving. Archer is still kind of I have hopes for
wild card per se?
I have hopes for Archer, but at this point it's kind of shaky. It's kind of, you don't really know, what you're getting from Archer at this point. So I think it's definitely Tyone. Now Trevor Williams, when Trevor Williams is on, can be better than both of them, but
As we saw last year.
right, the second half.
He's better than almost every pitcher in
the
MLB when he's on.
Let's say the Pirates made the playoffs last year. That second half, it's hard to argue against
Ooh.
anything that Trevor shouldn't be starting game 1. I mean,
You know what's funny,
the
though?
way
Is I
he
still would
pitched.
probably go with Tyone.
I probably would too, but that's more the fact of what kind of pitchers they are. Like Trevor Williams, everyone's expecting him just to fall back into, I don't know, mediocrity or whatever. But I mean, he was on fire that second half. But yeah, I think Trevor could definitely be better than both at times, but I think definitely it's Tyone number 1.
Yeah. No, I'm with you with that. So, and I agree. I think, right, like, he's shown it, Trevor can be, but I don't expect him to be. I do think that's why I said earlier about the regression. I mean, there's going to be some regression from Williams, and I'm okay with it. I don't expect him to be a Cy Young winner ever.